Good day, grade 9. We are currently busy and looking at the calculations. We have looked at the calculations up until in 11 number 5, and that last answer was negative 43,51. Now we are continuing. I want you to write with me. You are supposed to have done this for homework number 12 and number 13. So this is actually supposed to be only you marking the work and not be writing down. However, if you were absent, I will allow that. But please, in future references, make sure you do your work at home, because you are costing us a lot of time. So we start with calculations. I would draw a line under that, and I would write each date. When I'm doing this, I would write my dates in the book. So that will be 17th of February, and it is the whole year 2020. And once again, I would take my ruler, and then I would underline that. All right, because that is vital, and it makes it royal, and it makes it kingly, because he is the ruler. So we continue and we look at question number 12. Number 12 asked us, the question states at number 12 that we should, without the use of a calculator, round all prices to the nearest 5 rand and determine the estimated total. So I want you guys to follow with me. I'm just going to write down the numbers for time's sake. So that will be 12.1, and then the first number that they give us is 17 rand 80, and if I should round this off, I would round it off, I'll put 20. The next one will be rounded off is 10 rand 40. If I should round off the 10 rand 40, it should be equal to 10 rand. Okay, so then we have 38 rand 56. 38 rand 56, if I should round it off, that should be equal to 40 rand. And then if I should round off the next number, which is 14 rand 79, 14 rand 79, rounded off is equal to 15 rand. We round off to the nearest 5, remember. So that's how we do that rounding. And then the next number is, or the next amount is 7 rand 82 cents. So that will be rounded off until the 10 rand. And then the next estimated, and the next number is 9 rand 65 cents, and then we round that off, that will be equal to 10 rand. And now we say, what was the question at 12.1? They ask us to estimate the total, so we write the estimated total. We already rounded off, so estimated total, we write down the estimated total is equal to 105 rand. Good. Now question number 12.2, they ask us 12.2, now without the use of a calculator, round all prices to the nearest rand. Now determine the estimated total. Okay, so this will be first, I'm not going to rewrite it, I'm just going to do a quick shift of the numbers, so that means I can do this. Alright, but you guys, you are going to write it out. Oh wait, let me quickly see if I can't I do this? Oh. Okay, let's just move that slightly up. Alright, so that's, now we're starting with question number 12.2. So 12.2 looks like this, and then I'm going to round this off. If I round this off, the answer will be 18. If I round this off to the nearest rand, so I'm looking to the nearest number, so that will be, yes, why, who can tell me? Well done, that's 10 rand. And this one will be 39, that's good. And then 15, and then 8 rand, and then 10 rand. Right, so now we can add up. We can say 8 plus 10 plus 8 is equal to 18 plus 15. Yes. Alright, so we can add those everything up there and then we get our estimated total. So we write out estimated total for number estimated total. Who has an answer for me? Well done. She says 100 rand. So that's my estimated total, and now at question number 12.3. Now calculate the exact total, so you can use your calculator. They didn't specify without the use of the calculator, so you can use your calculator there. So I'm going to say 12.3. I go to my uncle. I call my uncle. I'm very polite. I say, greetings, uncle. Uncle Casio, please help me out here. I'm struggling a little with some calculations, so I say 17 rand 0.80 cents plus 10 rand 0.40 cents plus 38.56 plus 14 rand 0.79 plus 7.82 plus 9.65, and then I get my total is equal to that. That I want to simplify, so my equal. So I right now, they ask me for, what was the question? Calculated total, and then the calculated total there was it's equal to 99 rands and 2 cents. I hope everyone got that right. So now 12.4, I'm continuing to question number 12.4, the estimation to the nearest rand. What is the question there? The answer is the estimation to the nearest rand. Let's just refrain. The question states, which estimated total was closer to the exact amount? And that's question number. So the estimation to the nearest round. This one was closer than this one, so I'm going to say the estimation to the nearest rand was closer to the exact total. Then they ask us at question number 12.5. Question number 12.5, which estimated total was easier to add in your head? That would probably be the estimation to the nearest 5. Okay, because we didn't have any single digits that or we did have single digits, but we didn't have too much single digits. So question number 12.5, then that one will be the estimation to the nearest 5 rand. The estimation to the nearest 5 rand, like that. Good. And question number 12.6, it states the following, where they ask us at 12.6 is, explain why both estimated totals were higher than the calculated total. That is a good answer. What is your name? Chica says that most of the prices needed to be rounded up, and that's why the estimated totals was higher. Most prices needed to be rounded up. Rounded up. Good, so that is question number 12.6, and now we're going to question number 13. And we are here busy with integers, so please just make a note there for yourself. This is a part of integers, and make it colorful so that you can see that we're starting here with integers and the calculations of integers. Okay? Good. So I'm just going to be creative for a sec. Question number 13, they ask you evaluate the following without the use of a calculator. And question number 13.1, we are given the following number, and our number that we are given is 13.1, and it is 24 times negative 51. Now, without the use of the calculator, remember your rules are important here. So what you should remember is that when we are doing multiplication of a positive, so multiplication or division doesn't matter, alright, so positive times a positive is equal to a positive, and then a negative times a negative is equal to a positive, positive times a negative is equal to a negative, and then a negative times a positive is equal to a negative. That's what is important to remember here. Alright, so we're quickly going to do this without the calculator, and our calculation would look as follows. I would advise you to make use of a ruler, especially when you are doing, when you are writing an exam or something. Take a pencil, alright, go to a pencil and make a right-hand column for yourself so that you can do your calculations on the right-hand side. So that it doesn't make too much, doesn't add up to take too much of your folio paper. So what I would do here, I would go right out and I would say, so my problem that I have is 24 times with 51, and then I would say 1 times 4 is equal to 4, 1 times, alright, let me just zoom in there, 1 times 2 is equal to 2. What is important to remember here? The placeholder. Don't be like that guy who I showed you on Friday, no, who forgot that placeholder. Now I'm saying 5 times 4 is equal to, well done, yes, 20. Alright, I write down the 0, and then 5 times 2 is equal to 10, so plus the 2, and then I am left with 12. So now I do my addition, and then I say that will be 4, that will be 2, and that will be 1224. However, we were working with a positive and a negative, so what is vital to remember? It's negative 1224. Good. So now I continue and I say the next calculation is 13.2, and what our problem that we have there is 645 divided by 3, and then you can do long division if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. However, I want to see the calculation, so you can go on the following way. What I would do here is I would say 3 in front, I write out like this, and then I'm going to say 3 divided by 645 divided by 3. So that means I'm going to say 6 can go into 3 can go into 6 how many times? 2 times. Alright, what is the remainder? So now I say 2 times 3 is equal to 6. The remainder is 0 there. So I don't write anything. I take the 4, and now I say 6 can go into 4 how many times? Yes? 3 can go into 4 how many times? Once. Okay, so 1 times 3 is equal to 3. I write the 3 there, and then I say 4 minus, I was supposed to bring that 4 down. Alright, so then I say 4 minus 3 is equal to 1. Alright, so I have the 1 there. 3 can't go into 1, but I bring down the 5. So that 5 is there, and then I say 3 goes into 15. 5 times, so that is my answer, 215. And then I write here, therefore my answer is 215. Our next one is question number 13.3. That is supposed to be very hard. I know you guys struggled with this. Alright, so that answer is just 0. And make a note for yourself there, highlight it. Anything times 0 is equal to 0. Good. Then question number 13.4. 13.4 is a negative 613 divided by a negative 100. Okay, so how can we do this? What did you guys get? Question number 13.5. So there is the calculation of the long division. There is other ways, as noted now in class. There is other ways. You can simplify the fractions. You can write it as a fraction and simplify on that way. And then you can get to 6.13 as 6,13 as well. I do not appreciate you chewing in my class. I don't care what it is. It is very frustrating. Don't look around. If you are guilty, you know who you are. Just stop it right now. Good. So question number 13.5 states negative 431 plus negative 82. Alright, now what you should remember here, it is a negative times a positive times a negative. So I'm going to rewrite that first. So that means it's going to be negative 431 plus, a negative, positive times a negative is equal to negative 82. Alright, so that is actually what we have, and then because we have that, our answer is going to be, now I'm going to say a negative times a negative, so this is going to be a plus sum, so it's going to be 431, and then I'm going to add, because I'm going further into the negatives. Alright, we already have a negative. Remember, if I were to draw my number line here, and I want you guys to pay attention, if I have 0 here, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, continuing up until infinity right there. And then from this side I have negatives here. We are here standing somewhere along the negative line. Say for example we have negative, what is the number that is given to us? Negative 432, 431. So negative 431. And what are they asking? We should move further. We should subtract how much? 82. So we are going to be moving in this directions 82 times. We'll be jumping like a rabbit. Alright? We'll be jumping like a rabbit. And then, ooh, I need some glasses now. My rabbit is bad. Alright, so jumping like a rabbit. And then you jump from there, that's 1. For 82 times. So if we go negative, we go this side. If we go positive, we go that side. Good. So I need to go negative 82 times. So we can do it on our fingers as well. You can count negative 301, negative 431, negative 432, negative 4. You can continue like that, or you can change this, and you can say we're adding. So that means we should just remember at the end we should include a negative. So that's going to be 3, and then 11, I take the 1 over, so it's 5, 13. Alright, so what is my answer here? Negative. Thank you for remembering that, and that my answer is negative right there. Now we're continuing to question number 13.6, and that is 745 minus 53. Our answer right there will be 692. Good. So the last two, let's quickly do that before we continue. That will be 13.7. 13.7, stay with me, is 40 times negative 30, and our answer here is negative 1,200. Alright, it is a positive times a negative. You could have said the 4 times 3 is equal to 12. You added 2 zeros, but it's negative. A positive times a negative is equal to a negative. Alright, and then the last one is 13.8. 13.8 is 216 divided by negative 6, and then what we can do is look at this. 216, I'm going to write it as a fraction, and then we can say over negative 6. Now, why do I write it as a fraction? Because 6 can go into himself once, and 6 can go into that. How many times? 36 times. Alright, you need to know your 6 times table like that, and then you can say, good, there's a negative, so it's negative 206, not 216, negative 36. Good. For homework is question number 13.9. Alright, so I'll see you later.